Hi guys, today we are going to be trying out a new to me brand. I am really excited about today's video because the things that I have in front of me look really nice, and I've actually showed this in a previous video. I did do a haul video not that long ago. I will link that up in the corner if you want to go check out like a ton of other stuff that I got into my collection. But we're gonna be trying out Unicorn Cosmetics, and like I said, they sent me a really nice package here, and I want to show you what is inside. We're gonna play with some of these items, and I also got a package from Alien Cosmetics with their new lipsticks, so I would like to test out those as well. But here's the stuff that we're gonna try out from Unicorn Cosmetics. So there's quite a bit of stuff in here. Like I said, you may have already seen some of this stuff, but the one thing that I'm probably the most excited about is this brush set. And just the way it comes packaged, it's absolutely stunning. The quality looks really nice. And I gotta say that just the quality in general of all of these items just look and feel great. So I'm super excited. I've never heard of this brand before, but like, look at these brushes. Like, aren't these just the cutest ever? Like, I'm like, these are so cool. So yeah, we're gonna test these out. Like I said, quality seems nice, the shape seems really nice, and I just think that this is going to be a fun brand to sort of dip into, and I'm glad I have a lot of items here to test out. And we're of course going to try out the eyeshadow palette because eyeshadows, that's what I do. So that's what we're gonna do. This is called the Angel palette, and the thing I like about this palette is that the color story is very unique and different from, I feel like, anything that I've really seen before. And even though the pans aren't the same sizes and like the layout is different, it doesn't bother me, and I don't know why, because usually stuff like that really like annoys me. But for some reason I feel like this isn't messy. Like, it just makes sense to me. I like the fact that it's sort of divided into two color stories. Like, these two top rows go really nicely together, and then these two bottom rows go really nicely together. And I don't really care that some of the pans are smaller than others. I don't know, I'm excited. The palette swatched pretty nicely as well. I will say though that some of the shimmers seemed a little bit lackluster, and some of the pastel mattes didn't swatch the best, but like, swatches don't tell the whole story. So I'm excited to try this out. Like I said, the color story, really nice. I'm excited to just see what I can do with this. They also sent me a mirror, which that is so cute. Like, come on. I love that. So we're definitely going to be using that. I'm not going to be reviewing a mirror because a mirror is a mirror unless it sucks. And if it does, I will let you know. The next thing in the box is a bunch of lashes. So I would like to put on some lashes today. I don't know which of these I want to use. But some of them look really nice, and yeah, I'm just gonna kind of pick one of these and see which one I feel like is going to suit my eyes the best, which I still suck at doing that, but maybe I'll find a pair that's going to end up being my favorite. The last thing in the box here is a couple of loose pigments, which, if you've been on my channel for a while, you probably know that loose pigments aren't really my thing. So I don't know if I'm definitely not going to be swatching these and opening all of them. But I think what I want to do is I want to maybe use one of these lighter ones in my inner corner. So I have a couple of options here. I'm probably going to go with the light yellow because that looks really pretty. So I'm going to take that out of the box. I'm going to put this box on the floor because it is quite large and I need to have room to do my makeup. And like I was saying before, I also did get a package from Alien Cosmetics, which is now called Unearthly Cosmetics. My code still works with them. I'll have it on the screen. It is affiliated, but they sent me their new Satin liquid lipsticks, and I'm really excited about these because the shade range just looks really nice. Like, there's a lot of like grungy brown tones, and this is almost like green leaning and like a very cool tone brown. I'm excited. Let me know if you want to see a swatch video with these. If I do end up doing it, it'll be on my Instagram because I don't know. I feel like lip swatching videos don't really do that good on YouTube, and it's more of like a short form video. That's what I feel like it's best for, because you don't really need like a full long video with lip swatches, at least in my opinion. But we're gonna go ahead and test these out. So I think what I want to do, let's take a look in the palette. I want to kind of figure out what color story that I'm going to use, and then I want to put on one of the lipsticks just so I can wear throughout the video because I want to see how it ends up wearing. When I swatched this palette, I felt like the mattes in the larger pans swatched better than the mattes in the smaller pans. I don't know if that had anything to do with it or it was just like a color thing. But I'm thinking I do want to work with some of these greens because, I mean, look at me. How can I not, right? So maybe I'll do something like green and gold, maybe a little bit of this color in there as well, maybe like a little bit of the dark brown. So maybe what I'll do for lipstick is should I just do like a nude? Is that kind of boring? This is a very grungy, weird color, so maybe let's just try this grungy weird color because why not? This is called Jeanette, which is almost my name. That's kind of funny. I'm gonna go ahead and shake this up a little bit. I have no idea what the formula of these are going to be like, but it's a satin liquid lipstick, so I'm thinking something like the ColourPop. What did they used to be called? I know they had like an Ultra Satin. Is that what they were called? And then they discontinued those and they came out with a new formula that I haven't tried yet, but I'm imagining it being sort of like that. That is a really fun color. That looks like poop in the best way possible. Let me go ahead and put this on and we're gonna see what it looks like. I really like the doe foot on it. It's like big but small at the same time. That was a weird explanation. Anyway, let me try to put on this lipstick. Very opaque upon first application. It smells pretty good. It doesn't have like a specific smell to it. It kind of just smells like lipstick, but in a good chemical way. I am the worst at explaining anything today. I love this color. This is so fun. So far, I'd say the formula feels, would I call it a satin? I don't know. It feels a little bit more like a liquid lipstick, but I don't think these are gonna dry down completely. It feels a little bit on the drying side, which I don't really mind at all. And also my lips are quite dry, but I think it looks really nice on the lips and I love the color. So far we're off to a good start. Next, let's go ahead and try the eyeshadow palette. I do want to, before I do that, I actually want to see if I can use one of the shades in here as a highlighter. I forgot about that before I did my blush because there would be a bunch of beautiful blush colors in here. This color would make for such a nice blush. This would be a nice blush as well. But I want to try to use this shade as a highlighter. So I'm going to take the highlighter brush, which is amazing, by the way. Like, I used this once in my haul video with my Pat McGrath highlighter and I just love it. It's not going to work with like every single highlighter formula, and I don't know if it's going to work with an eyeshadow because it is a little bit on the flimsy side. So this will be a good highlighting brush for something that's maybe not very hard pressed and something that you know is very intense that you don't want to go like super heavy with. But let's go ahead and see if I can use this eyeshadow as a highlighter. It's maybe a little bit too powdery and sparkly for that, but I think that, yeah, it's definitely more of like an eyeshadow formula, which, listen, it's an eyeshadow, so no surprise there. But I do think that it works. I think it looks quite nice, actually. I'm not mad at that at all. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that on the other side as well, obviously, so that we have highlighter on both sides because it would be weird otherwise. Yeah, I can think of a lot of highlighters in my collection that I'm really going to enjoy this brush with. I definitely use different brushes for different highlighters depending on like the result that I want and the formula of the highlighter, but I think that this is a really nice highlighting brush. So we're gonna go ahead and put on some eyeshadow. I'm going to start by priming, of course, with my Natasha Denona eyeshadow base. I have played around a little bit with the Rephr Beauty Primer, which I did ask in my previous video, which was filmed like a week and a half ago, if you guys wanted to see like any comparisons. I brought the eyeshadow primer with me to New Hampshire and I used it every day there. I did not bring my Natasha Denona as I didn't do like any comparisons, but what I will say so far with the Rephr Beauty eyeshadow primer is I feel like my shadows crease so much easier with it. Like, even if I use glitter primer with my shimmers, like, it just ends up creasing. And I used it with shadows that I've used many times in the past that I haven't gotten creasing with, and I find that to be so weird because you would think with a glitter primer it wouldn't matter what primer I used on my lid if I had the glitter primer on top, but clearly it does. So I gotta say, I'm not like the biggest fan of how my shimmers react to that eyeshadow primer, and I don't know why. I don't know why it's happening. So maybe I have to play with it a little bit more. Maybe it's the kind of primer that doesn't work well with the NYX Glitter Primer. I really don't know, but so far, not really thrilled with that primer. I like the way that my mattes blend on top of it and stick on top of it, but the shimmers, I don't know. So let's see. Like I said, I do want to work with some of the greens in this palette. Also, I did use one of the brushes in the collection to blend out my eyeshadow primer, and it was really nice. So I'm going to take one of the blending brushes here. There's actually two very small ones, so I'm going to take, wait, there's three very small blending brushes. I love that. I'm going to take the largest one. I don't think these have a number, and I don't think these are sold individually, but this is the largest of the blending brushes. And I'm going to go into, what do I want to use? I kind of want to do something like bright green. Maybe I'll do like greens on top and then do like these two on the bottom for a bit of a contrast. I'm gonna start with this and probably deepen it up with this, and then maybe a little bit of the dark brown, not sure, but let's start with the shade right here because that just looks like a good idea because that is a beautiful, beautiful green color. And I'm just going to very heavily pack this into my crease here and see how this performs. It definitely seems a little bit sheerer on the eyes, and it's also not one of the colors that swatch the absolute best, but like I can clearly see it on my eyes still, and it is going on very nice and smoothly. These mattes felt really nice to the touch, not that that really matters, but it is pleasant to put your finger into an eyeshadow and just feel like, ah, that feels so nice, you know? Like I said, not that it matters at all, because all that matters is how it performs on the eyes. So I would say that I like it. I mean, it looks nice. I don't think that it's as rich and pigmented and opaque as maybe some other shadows that I have in my collection that are the same color, but I think that it's definitely, it's showing up. It's looking nice. It's a, you know, nice color. I don't really have too many complaints yet. We'll see how the next shadow kind of builds on top of that. And you could obviously make this pop a lot more if you use some kind of a white base underneath, which I know I keep saying over and over again, but you never know if there are new people around. I'm not someone who likes to use a white eyeshadow primer or something that's super light because it just annoys me. I don't know. That's all I got for you. That is literally my excuse for why I don't like using a white eyeshadow primer. I just find it annoying to work on, and I like having a smooth blend, and I don't like having a lighter eyeshadow primer like underneath my brow bone. And I also don't want to use two different eyeshadow primers. It's too much. Like, I don't want to fuzz with my eyeshadow primers and spend more time on that than I need to. So I just kind of accept that sometimes shadows that are more like neon aren't gonna show up as well as they would if I had a white base, but that is okay. So I'm gonna next move into the brush that's a little bit small. I really like this brush so far. I'm gonna use the shade right here because there's no point in using 3 different greens in my crease when this is just going to end up looking like the medium one anyway when it's mixed with the darker ones. I'm gonna start in the outer corner of my eye here and just blend it into my crease, and we'll see what happens. I'm not sure this is layering the absolute best here. I'm definitely seeing some separation, which is a little bit concerning, but I'm gonna see if I can build this up to be nice and intense. Maybe this is just a kind of formula that doesn't build very nicely because they did swatch quite sheerly, a lot of them, so I'm not really surprised that this is acting up a little bit here. Yeah, I'm sure you can see that, like right here, where I put it down on my sticky eyeshadow primer is sticking so much better than like right here where I have both colors. Like it's just creating like a sharp line there between where the eyeshadow primer was tacky and where it wasn't, where I already had color on. So I'm just gonna make sure that I tap a lot of this matte over the top here and just see if I can make this stick. I'm not gonna do any more blending on the outer portion here because I don't want to blend it away. So far I gotta say the matte formula, not my favorite, but I'm gonna see if it does the same thing on this eye, and if it does, it's definitely the formula that's doing it and not me, because sometimes this can happen on one eye and not on the other, and so I just want to make sure that I don't judge anything too harshly until I've tried it on both eyes, because it could also be user error. But again, I'm seeing the same thing kind of happening on this eye. Like it's just sticking very strangely to the outer corner of my eye here. But we're gonna make this work still. Yeah, you definitely want to be working dark to light with a formula like this because it's not looking good. Like I'm sure you can see that. It's just not great. So I'm just gonna take my time. I'm gonna go back and forth with these colors until I'm fairly happy with the result. It's probably gonna take a little while, but I'm just gonna work on this until I feel like I have a decent blend going on. So I'm gonna move on. I might deepen this up with like a black from a different palette, but let's do the under eye because I do want to play with some more shades. So I'm gonna go into the shade called Romance because I feel like these are going to make for really, really nice contrast. I'm gonna take that on the smudging brush in this set. Like I said, I really do like the brushes. I feel like these are really nice. And this is super nice and pigmented. Like that is going on very nicely even underneath my eye when I don't have an eyeshadow primer here. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get into my melt palette here because I feel like these are a little bit more reliable as mattes. So I'm gonna grab this dark shade up in the corner here, and I'm just gonna use that as my outer corner shade with the smallest of the blending brushes, and I'm just gonna make sure that this isn't patchy anymore because I feel like melt mattes layer a little bit better and they're just more rich in pigment. Like see how much darker and deeper, like how much better this is sticking on my eye here than the other formula. Just one more time, I'm gonna go into the lightest of the greens, the transition shade that I use. I just want to make sure I have a good blend between these before I do any kind of shimmer. And I'm just gonna make sure that I bring back this color a little bit as well because it is a really, really pretty color. I think this is looking a lot better now that I kind of worked on this for a bit, but it took quite a bit of time to get here, not gonna lie. So I'm going to put down some of my NYX Glitter Primer and then we'll test out some of these shimmers and see what they are like. So I'm not seeing any brush that's really going to work for shimmers here, so I'm just gonna use one that I already have in my collection. I'll just use my 21 from Rephr, and I'm gonna put some of my glitter primer onto my lid first. Just gonna do this in a bit of a cut crease shape here. I might use another shimmer underneath my eye as well, just so we can try out a lot of these, but I think this is all I want to do for the mattes. Let's see, I want to use probably 2, I'm guessing. This one is really pretty, but when I swatched it, it swatched very sheerly and it was very hard pressed into the pan, so I'm not really tempted to use that. So I definitely want to use the gold because the gold was the one that swatched the absolute best and I just want to have a nice look on. So maybe I will do I want to do any of the purple? I think I'm just going to do this one right here, which is one of the split pan ones. This one is called Utopia. So like I said, I'm just going to take that on the same sticky brush here and I'm gonna start that in the middle of my lid and just drag it out. This was definitely one of the shades that swatched the best, so I'm expecting it to look quite nice on the lids, and it definitely does. It's a pretty basic shimmer. It's not anything fancy or crazy, like there's no sparkles in it. It's not a duochrome. It's definitely not one of those shimmers that's gonna make me go wow. You know what I mean? It is laying nicely on my lid though, and it's not like enhancing any texture or anything like that. So if you don't like that in your shimmers, if you don't like the shimmers that I like that are very sparkly and sometimes a little bit sheer or a little bit chunky, which some very intense shimmers tend to be, then you would probably really like these because they do look really nice on the lids. And then for the front portion, I'm gonna take the gold shade, which is called Harp. So I'm just gonna put that on the front of my lid and blend it into the other green shade. And I'm saving a little bit of room in my inner corner just because I do want to try out a little bit of that loose pigment because I just think that the color is gonna go very nicely with this look. And the pigment that I'm going to use is the one that's called Daffodil. So I'm going to try to open this. There's like a little sticker around it and I'm gonna try not to make a mess and get this all over my desk. That's one of the things I'm not really into loose pigments because they just make a mess, or maybe I'm just a mess. That's probably what it is. It's probably just me making a mess here. So let's see, I'm gonna try to open this very carefully and then, okay, that wasn't so hard. And it's basically just a pastel yellow pigment. I'm dipping one of these small pencil brushes here into the pigment and then I'm gonna go ahead and spray it because I don't want any fallout, and this is just going to help it stick a little bit better. And I'm just gonna put that right in my inner corner. Yeah, that's very pretty. I really do like how this ended up looking. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish off. I'm gonna try to put on one of the lashes. I will let you know which one I end up using when I'm back and they're on. It's probably gonna take a little time for me because I'm not very good at lashes yet, but I'm gonna try my best and I will let you know how I feel about them once they're on. So fingers crossed that I'm able to not ruin this look. Okay, so I gotta admit, I feel like I'm starting Don't want to jinx myself, but I feel like I'm starting to get the hang on putting on lashes. It's taken a little bit of practice, but honestly, I really like these. Like, they're so fluffy and just, I don't know, I feel like they look really nice on my eyes too. The ones that I went with were the lash is called Dreamer, and I did cut off like 3 end pieces because lashes are always way too big for me, and I don't like them like all the way on the inside of my eye because I feel like that's when they kind of start poking up, and I like to start them kind of like here. And so I cut off quite a bit, but I really do like how they look, and I feel like they suit my eyes. I like them a lot. So let's kind of talk through like how I feel about the items that I was sent. So let's start with the brushes. Obviously, I didn't get to try out all of these brushes because some of these are face brushes and I honestly just completely forgot. I'll be honest, but they look really nice. This would be a beautiful blush brush. There is a really nice foundation brush here, which is kind of tilted. I'm not sure if everybody would use this for a foundation, but I would definitely use this as a foundation brush. There's also a beautiful, I guess this would also be a blush brush. This could also be this could be a really nice foundation brush too. Like, this is the exact type of brushes that I like to use for my foundation. I like something that's, first of all, domed. Like, I want it to be like round on top because I feel like that way I can use it in every way that I want, and it also usually doesn't get streaky at all. And it's really, really soft. It's fluffy, but like a little bit dense at the same time, but not too dense. I feel like this is going to be the perfect foundation brush for me. The rest of the eye brushes are honestly great. If you're looking for a brush set, if you have small eyes like myself and you want some more affordable brushes that aren't like Rephr brushes, like this set, honestly, the 3 blending brushes in here are all amazing. Like, I love all 3 of these, and I can see myself getting a ton of use out of these because these are really, really, really nice and they fit my eyes great. And I thought that they were really easy to work with, and they're just super cute too. So I would say so far, like, the best things from this package was definitely the brushes and also the lashes. I really like the lashes. Honestly, I love how these look. I wasn't sure if I would like them at first, just like looking at them, because it's not the kind of style that I've ever used before, but I'm really happy I tried them, and I feel like I can get, you know, quite a bit of wear out of these. It does say that you can get 10 plus wears. I have never personally wore a pair of lashes 10 times because I've probably worn lashes like 10 times total in my life. But I do want to start wearing lashes a little bit more regularly because I do love how they look. I just need to be more comfortable putting them on, and I've said that for such a long time and I've never done anything about it. And I just want to start like playing around with it because I do feel like it looks really, really nice. Again, I'm not going to be one of those people who wear lashes in every video. At least I say that now. Who knows what will happen in the future, but that is not like my plan at all. I just want to make sure that if I want to wear lashes, I can wear lashes and I know how to do it. And in order to get to that point, I need to practice. So yeah, that's basically going to be my thoughts. I would say if you're going to buy from this brand, skip the palette, honestly. I'm not really impressed by this at all. I can see myself using the blushes in this, but the eyeshadows, I just don't see myself reaching for it because if I don't have reliable mattes, I have nothing. Like, that is what I need. I need reliable mattes. I don't care what the shimmers I like in palettes because I have so many beautiful shimmers that I can use, but mattes are the ones that are hard to come by and hard to find really, really good mattes. So if I can get really nice mattes, I don't care what the rest of the palette is like, but I don't feel like the mattes in that palette really did it for me. So sadly, I wouldn't recommend the palette, but I would still recommend you check out the brand because they have some really nice stuff and their aesthetic is just really pleasing. So that's gonna basically be my thoughts. As for the lipstick still looks really nice. It's staying in the lines. It's doing what it's supposed to do. Let me look up close here and see if it's moved at all. No, not seeing any kind of bleeding. It looks quite nice. It's probably going to transfer. Yeah, it definitely transfers. So it is more of a satin formula, which is what it was said to be. But it's still, I feel like it wouldn't transfer a lot. Like, I feel like I could maybe make it through a meal if I didn't eat anything too messy. But I would assume that if I like were to drink something, it would probably transfer. But I don't really mind that. I think it looks really nice. And like I said in the beginning of the video, if you want to see a swatch video with these, do let me know and I can do one for my Instagram, which I will have on the screen. I'm not very good at posting, but sometimes I do post. So feel free to follow me if you would like. That's going to be my thoughts. So thank you so much for watching. As always, if you want to see some more first impression videos, which I have too many of, I will have my playlist right here. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe and I will see you in my next video.